Hi friends, we are going to study a small but very important topic of annual rainfall in India. That is the amount of annual rainfall in India. Why I am saying small, but why I am saying important? Because small because it does not have direct importance for the examination. But it is important because here we will learn some of the concepts which will help you a lot in answering most of the questions which are of the factual nature. The only thing is thoda interrelation, reading basic standard 12 people and economy NCRT, because see, even the classroom coaching or the one-to-one coaching or this online coaching has a limitation. It is the entire coaching industry has a limitation that if I tell you each and every fact, if I tell you each and every small point, then the course becomes too long and the course becomes boring. So here I will give you the basics, I will give you the concepts, facts you will do. You do it on your own. Just yes, I will tell you how to remember the facts. We will do some of the most important facts. But at the same time, I'm asking you to read people, land and people economy. But before that, learn the annual rainfall in India. So if when we do the annual rainfall in India, on the map of India, on the map of India, excuse me for the small head of India, the annual rainfall in India, I will give you 2-3 important lines which you should remember very well. This is a map which should be stuck in your mind, which should be used for entire application of the geography. The first line which I am giving you is this line from the middle of Jammu Kashmir to the middle of the Nepal. Red color line. At the same time, you remember here there is another line which comes from this region, goes straight in the Great Plains of India to around middle of Nepal and then gets converted to come to this region. And it forms this region. Then it comes to this region. This is one line. Thoda iska application is this one and this Tamil Nadu coastline in this region. At the same time, so you remember this line which I am drawing and this line which I am drawing, taking it here, continuing it here and continuing it here. At the same time, there is another line which I am drawing and continuing it straight downwards. So the red color line I am drawing, this continuing this straight down. Now what is this red color line? This red color line is a line of the areas which receive more than 100 centimeter of annual rainfall in India. More than 100 centimeter, more than or equal to 100 centimeter of annual rainfall in India. It is a line which joins the places of equal rainfall. And we call such lines which join the places of equal rainfall as ISO height. As ISO height. So this is an 100 centimeter ISO height. How many 100 centimeters ISO height? Even if you don't remember this two small ISO heights, it's fine. But remember one line from the middle of Jammu Kashmir. That is the, but actually it is the, that is the middle of this neck of India to the Nepal. Then from this tip of India to goes and then by turns to the Godavari plain and one all along the Western Ghat region. Now what are this? I will mark this. These are the areas which receive more than 100 centimeter of average annual rainfall in India. This is the area which receives more than 100 centimeter of average annual rainfall in India. Obviously, some areas will be receiving more than 100 means around 200 centimeters also, or some areas will be receiving even 400 centimeters. So you see which Himalayas is receiving more than 100 centimeters. Eastern Himalayas, Western Himalayas only in the part of the Shivalik ranges, that is the Jammu Hills. Jammu Hills, if you remember, are the part of, is the name of Shivaliks in the Jammu Kashmir region. So this region receives 100 centimeter of rainfall. Now the second line which I am giving you is a inverted half circle which goes and meets the Gulf of Kutch. And again an inverted hockey stick line. Inverted hockey stick line which runs parallel to the Himalayas. Oh, sorry, Western Ghats. Now this region, this shaded region is a region which receives less than 50 centimeter of rain. This is a region which receives, so I will draw it here. This is a region which receives less than 50 centimeters of rainfall, average annual rainfall. Less than 50. The red color line is more than 100 centimeters of rainfall, or we can say 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. I'll just write it somewhat up so that I can use this for some other space. 100 to 200 centimeters of rain. Now, you see why I am saying it is important. If you remember even this lines, this 100 centimeter line which is here, that 100 centimeter ISO height, this 100 centimeter ISO height which I am drawing now, which I am taking my marker over, is a difference between the rice growing regions of India and the wheat growing regions of India. It is a dividing line between the rice growing regions of India to the east and the wheat growing regions of India. Rice growing regions of India, rice growing regions of India, wheat growing regions. This black color line, less than 50 centimeters of average annual rainfall, is either a desert region or semi-arid region, is either a desert region or a semi-arid region. Why is this? Because of the Aravallis. Why is this inverted hockey stick? Because of the rain shadow effect of the Western Ghats. So if the question comes, a narrow parallel strip which is a drought prone which runs parallel to the Western Ghat is due to the rain shadow effect of the Western Ghat. Wheat, rice. Give irrigation, sugarcane. Give irrigation, sugarcane, but not wheat, neither rice. That we are talking only of main crops. So what you will grow here? You will go jawar, bajra in this region. You will take jawar, bajra in this region. But jahan pe irrigation is there also is a cotton soil here. You will take cotton in this region. You will take cotton in the black soil region. Gujarat has better irrigation facilities, best producer of BT cotton. Maharashtra has no irrigation facilities, BT cotton is like a farmer indebtedness, farmer suicide. Other than this, now I will use the blue color because obviously in this 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall, there are some areas which receive more than 200 centimeters of the average annual rainfall also. There will be some areas which will receive more than 200 centimeters of an average annual rainfall. Now it is this line which goes from the southern part of south of Mumbai and on the western side of the Western Ghats. On the western side of the Western Ghats. And also along the northeast of India. It also is along the northeast of India. Garo Khasi Jaintia Hill region This entire region except for a narrow belt here which does not receive a more than 200 centimeter. Otherwise, this is a line which receives more than 200 centimeter, this shaded region. More than 200 centimeters of average annual rainfall. This is a region which receives more than 200 centimeters of average annual rainfall, except for some narrow region here, but you don't worry too much of that narrow region. Now, remaining white part, should I mark it with dots? Remaining white part is the region which receives between 50 to 100 centimeter of rainfall. The dotted region is the region which receives between 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall. So this is a region which receives between 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall. Obviously, yeah, even here there will be some regions which will be receiving more than between 50 to 100 centimeters of average annual rainfall. While Leh Ladakh Plateau, Karakoram range, we know it is a desert region. But we are not concerned of this region. So average annual rainfall, we can say, as I told you, what you have to remember, you have to just draw one red color line here, this line in this part, and one line connecting the two central parts. These are the regions which receive 100 centimeter of rainfall. More than 100 centimeter, obviously the western part of the Western Ghats, right from the south of Mumbai to the tip of Kerala, and the entire, more or less entire Northeast India, including the Arunachal Pradesh. Then you remember this semicircle and this inverted hockey stick, less than 50 centimeters of rainfall. This is the arid and semi-arid region of the India. This is the region which is having the less than 50 centimeters of India. This is the region which is a drought prone region of India. In the economics, in the paper 3, you will be doing it as a dry land farming Yojana in Kurukshetra. Most of the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sinchai Yojana, etc. More of the focus will be on here, this region. Accelerated irrigation development program. Do the uncompleted irrigation projects to stop the farmer suicide in this region. What is accelerated irrigation benefit program? The name itself says complete the irrigation projects. So, and while the remaining part is the 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall. Now, why I said that this is the most conceptual and it will make your entire economic geography very easy, because economic geography is very factual. It has limitations also. Physical geography is more asked in the examination. Economic geography is less, especially in the preliminary examination, because it is factual. Now, but this conceptual map will help you to understand the entire economic geography, and let us see how. The red color lines, rice growing area, wheat growing area, right? Wheat also requires little bit of moisture. So, jahan wheat cannot be grown, you will take jawar, bajra, that is hard cereals or millets. The one area, second area. If jawar, bajra, Maharashtra is taking, then the Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan will take oil seeds here. So, oil seeds growing region. Fine. The remaining part, if irrigation is supplied, normal wheat, etc., soybean, etc. But rice is the main crop. You can see the vast area, therefore West Bengal, Bihar mein especially in the West Bengal, rice is the main crop. In India, you can, if I ask you what is produced more, rice or wheat, by red color you can tell me the India mein rice production is more than the wheat. So this is all about the crops. Second, drought prone area, dry land farming region. Command area development program, everything will be applied here. Now let us apply this conceptual map to vegetations. What? To the natural vegetation in India. Natural vegetation in India. In the areas of very, very heavy rainfall, what you get? More than 250 centimeters of rainfall, you get evergreen forest, biodiversity rich forest of India. So where in India is there tropical evergreen forest? Along the western side of the Western Ghats, in the state of Kerala and in the northeastern India. In the northeastern India, we have a tropical evergreen forest. Okay, see, I am leaving the tip of a Sikkim, though in the NCRT, tip of a Sikkim is also covered, but it is rightly wrong. So, tropical evergreen forest here. Then, what about the tropical evergreen forest? Therefore, the biodiversity rich region of India. So, focus on whatever the national parks, biosphere reserves, teachers have covered in your environment ecology using this map. So, Annamalai, Madhumalai, Silent Valley National Park, etc. all along this region. So, what is the endemic species, especially of mammals in this region? So, you will find lion-tailed macaw in this region of the Western Ghat. It is found only in this region. So, which state? Obviously, Kerala, some part of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. World Heritage Site, Biodiversity Hotspot. Then, focus here, Namdafa National Park, Arunachal Pradesh, Dibru-Sakhova National Park, Assam. Focus Kaziranga National Park, Manas National Park, Biosphere Reserve, Namdafa Biosphere Reserve, you will find in this region. In the Manipur Hill region, you will find India's only floating national park or world's only floating national park in the Loktak Lake, known as the Kebul Lamjau. Lamjau National Park. It is a floating national park. How it is formed? Vegetative matter, remains of dead organic matter, dead plants have solidified and they have formed, you can say, an island-like structure or a raft-like structure on a Loktak lake. And interestingly, you can have a sip on that. It is so hard, it is so strong that there are coffee shops, there are resorts on this, and you can actually go and settle there. You can actually sit there. So, Kebul Lamjau National Park in the Loktak Lake. Loktak Lake, world's only floating national park made from organic decayed matter. Organic means which was having life remains, vegetative matter. Otherwise, islands are made from rocks, from stones, but never an island is made from organic vegetative matter. If you have seen the life of Pi, you could see an island was shown there which disappeared. An island was shown which was made from the trees. So similar maybe inspiration from Kebul Lamjau National Park. The only thing is it does not disappear. So world's only floating national park. Focus on this. Questions will come from here. Environment ecology, I won't go too deep in it. So focus only on this, on what I am focus on this. Kebul Lamjau National Park in which state? In the state of Manipur on Loktak Lake in Manipur. Then Namdafa Biosphere Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh. Namdafa Biosphere Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh. A high peak in the mountainous regions of Arunachal Pradesh. Because of heavy rainfall, you have a tropical forest down. Then you have a subtropical forest. Then as the height increases, the rainfall decreases and the cold increases. So you have coniferous forest. You have alpine forest, alpine vegetation. You have on the top, you have tundra vegetation. So Namdafa National Park, where in succession all type of vegetation. That is why India is a wonderful country. You will find all type of vegetation right from tropical to tundra. Naam Dafa National Park, Arunachal Pradesh. Tawang Monastery here, Arunachal Pradesh. Naam Dafa National Park. Kanchenjunga National Park. Now, this is so more than 200 centimeters. Apply this more than 200 centimeters to the soil. In the areas of very, very heavy rainfall, if this is the top layer of the soil is made from different minerals, because of very heavy rainfall, everything is removed by the water, everything gets dissolved in water and it deposits down. While on the top layer, only iron and aluminium remains. Such a process is known as a leaching, a process of leaching. That means from the top layer of the soil, everything, all the nutrients are removed, only it remains rich in iron and aluminium in the areas of very heavy rainfall. And the leached soils are known as laterite soils. Are known as laterite soils. Now the laterite soils are the name is laterite soil because such soils are not fertile soils. They are, you can say, good for nothing soils, or they do not have an high fertility. They are poor soils. Laterite soil, they are poor soils. But the name laterite because they are red in color due to the presence of iron. They are red in color due to the presence of iron. They are poor soils. They do not have any nutrients and therefore they are used for brick making industry. Laterite means bricks. Therefore laterite soils. Now if I ask you in the areas of very heavy rainfall, where will be the laterite soil will be there? In the areas more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. So the entire Northeast India, laterite soil, and the western side of the Western Ghats, laterite soils will be there. Laterite soils will be there. Now this laterite soil, because it is poor soil, it is not, agriculture is not an important occupation here. But what grows on the laterite soil is cashew nut and coconut. And therefore, cashew nut and coconut is grown in this region. In fact, India is the largest producer and exporter of cashew nut in the world. Laterite soil, coconut and cashew nut, otherwise it is poor soil. Next, application of soil to this. Application of natural vegetation soil to this. Desert soils, salty soils, saline soils in this region. Why? Because of very high evaporation. So where saline soils and where laterite soils. Now let us look at the natural vegetation. Tropical evergreen forest in this region. In the regions jahan pe the rainfall is between 100 to 200 centimeters, there is a mixture of deciduous forest, that means patjhad, the kind of forest which shed their leaves during the summer season. Why? Because they have to conserve the water. As the water is less, as the amount of rainfall is less than 100 centimeters, it is lying between 50 to 100 centimeters. So the trees have to shed their leaves, and these are known as deciduous forest. In the areas where there is a mixture of deciduous and evergreen forest, semi-evergreen forest. So tropical semi-evergreen forest, in the areas more than 150 centimeters of average annual rainfall. So semi-evergreen. But in the areas jahan pe majorly the rainfall is between 100 centimeters or between 70 to 150 centimeters, you have deciduous forest. The trees which shed their leaves become barren during the summer season. So most of the India will have deciduous forest. Deciduous. Only thing is, in the more rainier parts of India, it will be moist deciduous. In the less rainier parts of India, it will be dry deciduous. So if the question comes, which forest dominates in India, semi-evergreen or deciduous or evergreen, you have an answer that is deciduous forest. On other hand, thorn vegetation, cactus vegetation or desert vegetation or semi-arid vegetation, this region and this region. If the question comes, why semi-arid vegetation in a narrow strip in parallel to the Western Ghat, the answer is rain shadow effect of the Western Ghat region. Rain shadow effect of the Western Ghat region. So this explains the vegetation in India. What about the evergreen forest in India? Evergreen forest in India on the western side of Western Ghat, in fact the southern side of Western Ghats, Northeast India and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Andaman Nicobar Islands are in the tropical rainforest region. So do not forget the Andaman Nicobar Islands also. Andaman Nicobar Islands also. But Andaman Nicobar Island will also have deciduous forest. So deciduous forest in the Andaman Nicobar and even the evergreen forest in the Andaman Nicobar. Same Kerala and same the Northeast India. Jahan pe evergreen forest is there, dense evergreen, deciduous forest. Semi-deciduous, semi-evergreen will also be there. So Andaman Nicobar also of India. Okay. So remember, that is why I said this is the most conceptual map. Same map, the soil structure, I will explain you in the soils how to relate the industries. So if rice growing region comes, which is the largest producer of rice, UP or West Bengal, what is the answer? West Bengal. In the higher regions, jahan pe the rice requires flat field, but you cannot grow rice. So you will take in the delta regions, we'll take jute, and in the higher regions, we will take tea. So why the tea industry is located here? Because tea, chai requires very heavy rainfall, but at the same time, the soil should be well drained. That means they should not be logged with water. So well drained soil will be only on the slope of a mountain. Generally in the flat areas, you cannot get both the conditions. So well drained soils floods heavy rainfall. Therefore, the tea plantations are successful here. Even though the Britishers tried to introduce the tea plantations all along the Himalayas, tea plantations, geographical reason, were successful here because of the climatic factors. Very heavy rainfall, this region, more than 200 centimeters of rainfall, and also the reason was the well drained soil. Human geography reason, tea is a labor intensive cultivation. You require large amount of labor for tea cultivation. Specialized labor are also required. That is women, because they have thin fingers. They are required. They are generally used. They are generally employed to pluck the leaves out of it, so that the leaves can be plucked. Tea leaves can be plucked easily. And as a result, cheap labor is available in this region. Why it is cheap labor is available? Because these regions are densely populated. So the labor can migrate in the tea plantations in this region. So this is how conceptual it is. Geography is after all about concepts. Okay. So we will see this region, which I will explain later on. So this is all about the annual rainfall in India. Now let us look at the slides for the annual rainfall in India. Now this is the diagram where I have shown more than 400 centimeters etc. of rainfall. It is not that much required. You can follow my earlier diagram, that is this diagram, and if you want to follow this my diagram, I will tell you from where to follow. It is from India Physical Environment NCERT on page number 51. What you have to see? India ka annual rainfall ka figure. Page number 51. So this is all about the annual rainfall in India. I have even given it here so that you can download it, take a snapshot of it as an attachment. Above 400 centimeters of rainfall and 200 to 400, so that's specifically above Cherrapunji, Mansandram region, obviously above 400 centimeters of rainfall. the eastern part. Therefore, evergreen forest, evergreen forest. So if the question comes, see, Kanchenjunga National Park is located here, Namdapha National Park is located here, Namdapha Biosphere Reserve located here, Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve is located here. So if the question comes, kahan pe you will have the region of vegetation from tropical to tundra? Obviously not in this Nanda Devi or Karakoram or anything here, because यहाँ पे there is less than 200 centimeters of rainfall. The, the confusing part is this too. You can see the dark regions here where it is in Arunachal Pradesh. So remember, Arunachal Pradesh area also receives more very heavy rainfall. Okay. Now therefore we say in India we have areas of very heavy rainfall, which receive more than 200 centimeter and above. This includes, remember, don't make, UPSC can trick you that which side of the Western Ghats. Remember, the western side of the Western Ghats and northeast India. Meghalaya, which is known as the abode of cloud, it is the wettest part of the country with Maswindram and Cherrapunji getting around the whatever the rainfall is there, that is 12221, 1221 and 1102 centimeters of rainfall. So which is here? Maswindram here is the champion. That is why I said present day champion. Now, which hills, again repeat with me, which hills? Below Garo hills, below Khasi hills, below Jaintia hills. These are how the map based question are. These are below the Khasi hill region. This is below the Khasi hill region. Areas of high rainfall, 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. Eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. Major part of the North Plain, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. You don't have to remember. Just remember eastern slope of the Western Ghats versus the western slope of the Western Ghats. Areas of low rainfall, that is 50 to 100 centimeter of rainfall. Large parts of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Western Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Eastern Rajasthan. Which Rajasthan? Eastern Rajasthan. Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. Now, this is the semi-arid region of India. This is the semi-arid region of India. And again, I am repeating, this also includes the inverted hockey stick region. That is the rain shadow region of the Western Ghats. Eastern Rajasthan, not Western Rajasthan. Why? Because Western Rajasthan is desert. Less than 50 centimeter of rainfall. In fact, even less than 25 centimeter of rainfall in the desert region. These are the semi-arid regions. And areas of very less rainfall. Now, इसमें आएगा Western Rajasthan, Kutch and most of the Ladakh region of Jammu and Kashmir. The only difference is Western Rajasthan is hot desert, while the Ladakh region of Jammu Kashmir is an cold desert. It is an cold desert. This is the difference here. So this is what we have studied. Now, if the UPSC asks you the Western Himalayas, do they get more than 100 centimeters of rainfall? No. Or yes. You can see the blue line. This is the Western Himalayas. Western Himalayas also include Shivaliks. In the Shivaliks, these are the Jammu Hills. Jammu Hills. So remember, the Jammu Hills do get more than 100 centimeters of rainfall. Jammu Hills do get more than 100 centimeters of rainfall. The Shivaliks in the western part. While Karakoram range, Greater Himalayas, Middle Himalayas, they do not get more than 100 centimeters of rainfall, but yes, Jammu Hills get. So it is not that the Western Himalayas do not get 100 centimeters of rainfall at all. It is not that way. Also receives the 100 centimeters. But obviously the Eastern Himalayas, very heavy rainfall. So that is why this there is Eastern Himalayas, very heavy rainfall. So if I ask you, which is rich in biodiversity, eastern or western Himalayas, you are getting your answer here. The answer is eastern Himalayas. And the third pointer is, what is this area? This is due to the rain shadow effect of the western Ghats. This is due to rain shadow effect of the western Ghats. You must be wondering that why I am stressing so much here, because the questions will generally be surrounding this region. So focus on this region. Focus, this is the area which is drought prone in India. So focus them in from this region. This is the thorny vegetation, semi-arid vegetation, thorny vegetation, that is this light blue color is the thorny vegetation, eastern Rajasthan and the narrow strip of western Ghats. So this is why I am saying to the annual rainfall in India very properly. It will solve most of your conceptual part. Till the time we meet again, thank you very much.